What's up, y'all? It's your girl B, of Purple Rain Productions, CEO and founder. I'm over here without my partner in crime, Bird Wainwright. I'm gonna do a solo tip today. This is the spin-off 3539, and B's just saying. So I'm gonna start with where's this film? Not sure if you guys watched it, the Blackkklansman. I'm a little late on it, but I see some of y'all real late, because I ain't see nobody on my feed say nothing about Blackkklansman, and there was a lot going on. It was some racial subject matters that came up, some politics, and apparently we all know racism not only still exists today, but wow, very concerned about some of the clips towards the end of the film, 2017, and some things that took place in Virginia. The President Trump, he spoke on it a little bit, and didn't really address much. Pretty upsetting. Nobody did anything about it. But we don't see nobody supporting the disappearance of racism. It's just pretty sad. So we really got to stand up as a people. But the real reason why I even went to check out the film, I was very curious about Denzel's son. In the film, I saw a interview where he talked about him and his background. He was apparently a football player, and him wanting to be an actor. So that was interesting. I really, I have to say the young man did a really good job. I wouldn't have known that this was his first film. That was pretty surprising. But that he took on this particular role. Also, I just kind of felt like everything that they kind of touched on. How they. The Ku Klux Klan, how you got to be the first in everything in the race. In this particular case, he was a cop, and he was the first black cop on this in Colorado, and then he happens to crack a major case, did really well, and then all of a sudden it was like, throw it under the rug, just throw it under the rug. We don't want to talk about this no more. And like I said, the ending, it was pretty touching. So when you guys get an opportunity, make sure you check it out. If you guys got HBO now, you can stream it. It's available. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Otherwise, DM me, and I might just slide you my password, and you might be able to watch it on me. All right. So next, on that note, I wanted to talk about was Nipsey Hussle. On 3539, I'm sure everybody's wondering, how come they haven't went live yet and talked or addressed this issue? The reason why I'm bringing it up is because I was very enthusiastic about the way that LeBron James delivered it. His message and the message he shared and his standpoint. I have to say that I probably can relate to his viewpoint the most out of all the different discussions that came up in the interviews and everybody that's been talking about Nipsey Hussle's death and murder. But LeBron James really shed a lot of light about what a lot of us do when we walk away or leave home and just never turn back. And I don't know that I can't say that I turned my back on my city or the town, because I go home frequently. It's just very challenging to be able to have a good time knowing that around the corner there's a possibility of you getting shot, hurt, there's theft, and of course racism, it does exist. They're just profiling all day, and you got a little money in your pocket, everybody's out to get you. The police, everybody doesn't like you, everybody's out to hate. Everybody wants to take, but nobody's there to support, show love, be happy. Whereas my segue, I'm gonna talk about a movie called Animal. So Animal tripped me out. This was on HBO. I just pressed play. We were trying to find something to watch. So lately I've been trying to catch up on some films, and Animal came up. The title in itself, I was like, okay, he likes thrillers, I'm a scary person. I would never just press watch. It will play to this, but you got to feed into your spouse sometime. You got to give a little. So I hit play. Oh, coincidentally enough, it was a film shot in Spanish, subtitles and all. He wasn't that interested in it, but I have to tell you, it got my attention. I was reading it. I thought the film in itself was shot pretty well. The story behind it was great. There was some money, some greed involved. But long story short, HBO got another hit. This guy is out to get his kidney. He's dying, and he's getting dialysis. He sees everybody around him dying, and all of a sudden his animal instincts kick in, and he just wants to find a way to survive. He sees everybody else living their life, their best life at that, and nobody's really understanding his perspective, where he's coming from. I can't have a drink. I can't eat what I want. I'm saying I'm trying to survive so I can get a kidney, not for the rest of my life, so I can stay alive long enough to see a kidney come my way. He's like 200 and something down the list. So this guy, he goes out of his way to find a suitable match, a blood match, type A, I believe. And there's a whole twist to the story. You know, he jeopardizes his family, he jeopardizes it all. He gives it all away just so he gets his kidney. And, you know, the end of the story, he does. You got to watch it, though, so you can see. But all I have to say from the takeaway on the movie, greed is real. Money is the root of all evil. And if it's worth losing your family and your friends and your loved ones to live another day and to be alone, I think I would have took death. Next film today is a biographical movie. It's a Netflix film, and it's called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. So this is another film where if you can follow along, please do. There's some English and there's their language being spoken throughout the film. It's a true story, and I have to tell you, from beginning to end, I just was in love. The editing, the suspense. The film is about a drought that takes place in Africa. There's a family who lived there, and the family was pretty well off, probably middle class if you had to compare, in a village though. And the father sends the kid to school, and at some point the drought hits, and now, you know, everything ends. You can't just keep going to school. But before everything gets cut off, the boy would skip out on helping his father in the land for the crops. Because he just didn't see the point of it. There's no water, so what am I out there trying to do? Grow crops with what? But he realized in school, he made an observation about the alternative energy, which, as you all know, in California, we're trying to go, I believe, by 2030, 100% alternative energy. I think Argentina just beat us to that, by the way. I'm not surprised. But nonetheless, you know, the big windmills, when you guys drive up the 5 or come from the 5 down to see me out here in Hollywood, from the bay, you see the windmills. Those are all generating energy from the wind. And in Africa recently, it's been a huge opportunity for not just investments, but for people to be able to survive in deserts, in places where you can't really live and survive, because now with energy, like this boy found out, he was able to go back to the school and learn more so about alternative energy. And with the energy, he was able to draw water from the wells below, bring the water up, and help the crop, because they were in a drought. And with that, they grew crop and they were able to survive. So during the film, we saw a lot of violence, you know, and people hurting one another just to survive, to get some food. So you see the family go through turmoil. True story. The kid, you know, ends up turning out to solve this problem, and then eventually moves to the States and gets a degree, and, you know, the rest is history. The reason why I wanted to talk about the boy that harnessed the wind was because I was a little disappointed with some of the awards that were won this year. Specifically the one about the women and period. The team there was very excited about winning that award, but from my film background and being a film student and all, I wasn't very happy or thrilled with it. I mean, I've seen documentaries done better, but I had to watch it to be supportive. I can't just talk. I got to be able to watch and observe and say what's going on. So you're not going to always like what I have to say, but I have to tell you that we all are thinking it. And I'm not about riding nobody's bandwagon. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to educate you and give you a perspective on things that maybe we don't all, you know, consider. So from a woman's perspective and a film student and background in film, it could have been done better. Just because she's a girl doesn't mean they win it. I mean, it was a story where they tell about women, and I believe this part of the world was India. I think it was about 30 minutes, 26 minutes. But when it came down to the sound, horrible. They have, you know, they tape the women in India talking, the interviewers speaking, and then someone interpreting, and it was just too much. It's like, cut the music down, the sound down, and let us either hear only the person speaking, or, you know, let us see the subtitles. It's so common now. I mean, all the films I've watched lately that I shared with you, and I'm going to share with you, you know, have a lot of that going on. I mean, foreign films are becoming more and more popular because now they have access to the internet, and film equipment is just so much easier. So everybody's doing it. Hello, social media. I shot a video today on my phone, on my iPhone, and it's not the first iPhone video I shot, so I can't wait to share that with the world. But in any case, I believe they just gave this group, put this group in the documentary series because they were women shooting a film about women with periods and all that. and it was a foreign film, so they kind of fit like all these characters or categories that, you know, they couldn't fill before. It was like a void in that category. So disappointed in the Academy for that. I think they could just do a lot better in seeking out more talented groups and better films. They're out there. So if you guys want to follow along, let me know what you think. I'll let on these films. I'll follow up, share something else with you next week, and talk to you more about anything that's trending. How about that weather? All right, y'all. I'm out.